Travis Wayne Goodsell. Finally getting around to checking out the news from yesterday and pretty much over the weekend, but not much is typically done over the weekend. This video is about the corruption of our news. They're supposed to report the news, which requires journalistic investigators to investigate what news is out there to be reported on. Unfortunately, our local news here in Utah especially, and I'm sure it's probably the same everywhere, as I recognize the national trend to this same type of function, is that they take what should have just been a simple news report and they turn it into we're going to control your social behavior. We're going to control your lives. We're going to tell you how to live because we don't trust you to do things right on your own, as this one case demonstrates. Child drowning prompts reminder about water safety, from ABC4 News Utah's YouTube channel. No, it does not prompt a reminder about water safety. What it is a news story about a child having drowned. That's all they needed to do. Instead, they have to throw in we know better than you and we're going to tell you how to do things right because we don't trust you because of this one incident. And you see that kind of thing being presented, report after report after report after report after report. They can't just tell us what the news is. And maybe it's because they don't get the ratings. Maybe telling us that we're incapable of taking care of ourselves and that we need others to tell us what to do, to be compelled in all things. Mormons know about that, don't we, Mormons? This is the behavior of Mormonism being played out on the news. They are taking away our agency by telling us how to live because we aren't doing it right because of the one person's example. This is the behavior of Mormons who have as their symbol the inverted pentagram. It's on the keystone of the temple, Mormons. I've been going over that, but Mormons don't want to listen to me. They get upset. So, I'm not recognizing any others that have the same type of thing, but here, Utah Beef Council, get up and go burritos. So they're advertising for burritos. How is that a news story? How is that a news report? Again, this is the kinds of thing you have to be cautious of when you're trying to separate what the news is from what the distractive mind control is. Because that's what it is. When they're telling you how to behave, they're doing mind control. They're ordering you to behave. And you saw that when the protests began. The news at first was trying to say, oh, protesting is bad. The cops, leave the cops alone. Everybody conform and comply and stay home. They were telling us to stay home. The news was telling us what to do during the protest. And then ABC4 News Utah had an exclusive coverage because it was right in the background. And I covered it first, even though they covered it. They then, somehow it got back to them that, hey, wait a minute, we just witnessed police abuse. And we covered it live. And so then they tried to do a crusade to help the old man. But the old man said, "Oh no, I'm scared for my life. If I file a complaint, I'll be excommunicated from the church, and the police will beat me." And yeah, the elderly in Utah have already been compliant. It's the younger generation that are rebelling because they don't know of the abuse that the church has on the government and business and everywhere else. They're just finding out for the very first time. And that's why I'm concerned that without leadership for these protests, they're going to fizzle out and die, with people thinking, oh, well, some of the cops had gone to court. That's good enough, I guess. We're done. Mission accomplished. No. You have not gotten any change that is in your favor yet. The protests must continue until they conform and comply. That's how Nurse Wubbles got justice. And if you don't remember Nurse Wubbles, she's got a Wikipedia page now. And that's what was required, because 3 months the police kept the video hidden. Nobody found out about it. Everybody at the hospital was silenced. Nurse Wubbles was still terrified for her life. And the officer was still doing his job, torturing, tormenting other people. And then the test came out, or the video came out, and went national, and everybody knowing about it, very upset. And so they tried to say, oh, okay, we'll investigate. Not good enough, we saw the tape. And so his secondary job, that police officer's second job, they fired him immediately. We can't have your kind here. So that still wasn't good enough, because he's still a cop. And so then they finally said, okay, we'll put him on administrative leave. No, still not good enough. Okay, fine, we'll fire him. I mean, it's just, oh my God. The refusal to do the right thing in the beginning. That this bully pulpit state, where leaders of government, leaders of business, leaders of the church refuse to do anything right until they are forced to do it by continual protesting. That's how the protest for Protect LDS Children, that's how they won. And they still, that's all, we protected the children, okay, good, we're done. No, there was a group left out from the church's compliance. Because who gets witnesses? Women and children. Who's missing? Men! They still left it open to abuse men. And those of us who are men and have grown up in the Mormon church, we know exactly the kinds of abuse that a bishop can ask when he goes off script. So, yeah, it's a dangerous world to have news have 1% news and the rest of it advertising and nagging about how we're not doing things right and that we need to change. And they will never investigate the church. It has to be something that makes the news before they will cover it, because they will not investigate the church. The church has a treasure trove of news stories, and they won't cover them.